and I knew that that we could run the things that we were doing in the AFL against them. So it was exciting to me because, and I got a little angry at times because he kept putting us down for a while, but as time went on, it stopped.
Did the NFL take the AFL for granted?
Um, I don't think they took it for granted. I just think they looked down on everybody because this is the AFL. And, I think what they forgot was that we played with them in college. And, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And so some legs are bigger than others and faster than others. But, over a period of time, I think the AFL got a lot of the talent. In my day and age, too, it wasn't, the NFL wasn't what it is today. We didn't have any teams in the South. We didn't have a Dallas team. I think the Dallas team had just come into existence. There was nothing south of the Mason-Dixon line. And I played, in Mississippi and Louisiana and Arkansas and Texas, and I was like, I didn't know who the NFL was. I mean, the only game that I can remember watching was Johnny Unitas when he sneaked over in the last minute of play, and I watched the end of it with my dad. But I wasn't an NFL fan because I wasn't in that part of the country.
So when you get to the AFL and you start playing and you're competing, I mean, it's almost like you guys, as a league, were all together in it and almost playing with a chip on your shoulder. Hey, we can do this kind of thing. I mean, the underdog.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. Because I always felt like, for some reason, I knew inside that we could compete with them and play with them. And even though they wouldn't give us the opportunity, it didn't bother me that much until, they finally, the last couple of years when they started trying to put us down. To begin with, they didn't, and we were just that other league. And then when we started doing well, they came down on us a little bit. And when they did that, I just wanted, I just said, hey, I just wanted to compete against them, as an athlete. Don't talk about it. Let's get out there in the field and let's see. So, and then then Green Bay came in the cup, and everybody said, well, this is typical Green Bay, winning I think the first 2 Super Bowls they won handily. And I'm looking up and saying, hey, but they beat everybody handily in those years. I mean, Lombardi beat everybody. It wasn't just us. And then, of course, we started with Namath and won one, and then sort of started winning a few. So it's it was great, but it wasn't, looking back, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad.
Well, you say it wasn't bad. Do you have that same recollection about Rough Acres training camp?
I have great memories about that. That, to me, made us the football team we were in, 63, I guess it was. Yeah, when we reported out there, we're out in the desert. There's everything around you is brown, except for 2 little green spots, and there was 2 football fields. The only reason they were green is because they watered them during the night. And of course, we had these little cabins that everybody stayed in around the field, and nobody would go out at night. The reason why nobody would go out at night was because the coyotes were howling and all kinds of noises were going. There were rattlesnakes all around. I mean, everybody said, hey, close that door and lock it. But it was great. I felt it brought us together as a team. And my feeling is I think every team in football should experience that. I feel like they should go and they should play together and grow together. There wasn't any place to go, wasn't anything to do except be part of a team. And we came out of there with a different attitude.
We say it's great. It was a long time ago. I mean, when you were there, were you thinking it was great, or were you thinking, this is rough, this is tough, and maybe there's a greater good coming from it? But when you're there and there's rattlesnakes around and you're in these little things,
well, I'm from the country. You have to understand that. So to me, it wasn't that rough. Everybody talks about it being rough, but I actually enjoyed it. It was kind of fun to see all the guys laughing and being scared of the rattlesnakes. I'm sort of laughing at them having a good time. You have to watch your step. Other than that, you're okay. But no, we had all the amenities you could ask for. I mean, we had ping pong tables, pool tables, air conditioning. We had everything, the cafeteria-style food. It was great. We were just right there together all the time. So it was a great big family, and I loved it.
Was there anything that was tough about football for you, or was football, did it always come natural to you?
sports, you know, I really feel like that God gives you the talent to play whatever you play and the different sports. So I don't feel like it, you know, that was hard for me to do, and I don't feel like it's hard for the guys that play today. It's not hard for them to do. They have a God-given talent, and they just go out and do it. You work at it. People don't feel a lot of times that you work as hard as you do. You know, they used to look at me and say, "Well, you don't work hard enough." I worked really hard. At least I thought I did. And but no, looking back at it, my feeling is that you're talented, and God gives you that talent, and you go out and take advantage of it.
What was your reaction when Todd first contacted you about doing this book?
I said, we'll see if we can put it together or not. Yeah, a lot of people talk about doing things like this and don't follow through. And Todd had some really good ideas, and he just expanded those, and the book got better and better as time went on, and he went out and finished the job.
You know, guys like you and Ron, I mean, Pro Football Hall of Famers, probably get to talk about what you did in the AFL more than some guys. You know, Todd told us about a lot of guys that he interviewed who were almost like, "Oh, you don't want to talk to me. I didn't really do anything." But then we're so appreciative of the fact that they got to kind of tell their stories to be remembered.
You know what? Everybody has a story, and particularly in those early years of the founding of all the teams. And this is a special book, and it's someone's taken the time to go back and construct it, talk with everybody he could possibly get a hold of, and they all spoke with him. And they all had their stories to tell, which were great stories. I kid him because a lot of them are the same stories, only told a little bit differently. But you know, I just think he did a tremendous job the way he put it all together. I mean, I like the way that he puts the interviews together and ties a lot of it together. And the pictures are what really sells me. I love the pictures, and I'm sure that anybody that takes a look at it is going to enjoy the book, particularly if they have and love football, then they're going to want to have a copy of this, I believe.
It's easy to get behind this idea now that you know you can see the finished product, but when this was just an idea, I mean, you really did a lot for him, contacting people, writing the foreword. I mean, what was it about him that drew you to this project?
You know what, actually, I have to be honest, I did not do that much. Todd continually pushed me all the time to come by to do this. And I was like, okay, Todd, come on by. I didn't realize that he was really intent on doing it and pursuing it like he's done. And he's done a masterful job, and I'm not taking any credit for it. He did it all. And he did a masterful job.
But you were there. I mean, you were willing to help.
Yeah, but so was everybody else. I mean, everybody has their story to be told, and it's like, that year was just a fabulous year for everybody concerned. We won, and we started out, you know, with the rattlesnakes and with whatever in Boulevard, and went on, and it was just a great year with a great bunch of people. And it's fun to go back and see where everybody is today and what's happened to them. And I just wish, you know, the only thing that I wish were in there a little bit more is the story, individual stories about where guys are today. But that's a difficult thing because some like to talk about it and others don't. So we have to go back and just talk about the football, which he did, and he did it great.
You know, you talk so fondly of this book, and I know that it was a labor of love for Todd, especially going through what he was going through. And I mean, I'm sure that you know that he was diagnosed with cancer in the middle of putting this book together.
Yes, he was, yeah. And not only that, but he has two young sons. And I think one was born just about the time he was diagnosed with cancer. So it's been a tough road for him. But he fought through it, and right now he appears to be cancer-free. He's got two young, beautiful kids and a wonderful wife, and he's going forward.
How would you compare the struggles of the AFL, struggling to make it as a league and, you know, be incorporated with the NFL, to the struggles that Todd went through with fighting cancer?
Wow, that's a tough one because, you know, I'm not sure there's any comparison because his is much tougher. I mean, you know, the league starts and history unfolds and there's a lot of things that happen, but when there's something personal that happens to you in your life that's life-threatening, you know, sports sort of goes out the door a little bit. So, you know, I would say that Todd's struggle with this and success in it is a much bigger story than what we're talking about today, except that you know, the other one's football and the fun thing, and this is a total personal situation and an episode that turned out, so far it's turned out for him very good.
You know, I asked Todd really that same question, and his response was that he felt the AFL struggles was much harder than what he went through, which I was amazed by.
Whoa. Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't believe. Well, you know, that's amazing. It's amazing of him to say that. But you know, but this was his life. He's into this, and you know, this is something that he spent a lot of time doing. But I can't imagine. Now that, to me, his personal tragedy, which turned out not to be, is a much bigger thing than our history.
You know, watching him as you two were looking through this book, it was like a proud father, you know, watching his son, you know, catch a football for the first time. It meant a lot to him to see your guys' reaction to this.
Well, and he's seen my reaction a few other times, you know, but you know, I can understand that. I didn't see his expressions, but I've seen him in here with his two boys and watching them. So you know, that's, I can imagine the expressions on his face, and he deserves that. You know, he deserves even more than that, because he's done a fabulous job for everybody. We have some great memories here, and I hope that other people will take a look at him, other than just, you know, a few people that were in the book and that were here at that time, because it's a great history. It's a great chronological story of what went on in those early years.
At the end of the day, it's a really worthwhile project.
Really is, really was. I struggled with that in the beginning, because I said, you know, what is this going to do? But it definitely has a lot of strength in it.
Seems like it's more than just a book. I mean, it's memories. It's
Well, you know, it is, and you know, hopefully this will be one of the books that 20, 25 years from now they go back and look at and say, you know, this is a treasure. You know, how many of these can we find? So, and I feel like it will.
all right. That's all we need. Thank you.